Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. We'll be starting shortly. Please take your seats and ensure your phones are on silent mode. We appreciate your cooperation as we prepare for an evening celebrating innovation, creativity, and the best in design experience. Those at the back, you can come in the front seats. You'll have a better view of the screen. Please come in the front seats. So, good evening, everyone. Wonderful to see such an inspiring gathering of some of the most eminent architects here, designers here, engineers, and technical experts. A very warm welcome to everyone, all those who are joining us online as well, because we are live streaming and many are joining us online. I'm Sapna Srivastava, editor for Realty Plus magazine, and on behalf of Nemetschek Group and Realty Plus, I'm delighted to welcome you to this exclusive launch evening of Archicad 29 in association with Realty Plus, where design meets technology and ideas turn into innovation. And today's architecture, as you know, many of architects we have been talking to, they tell us it's not just about creativity anymore. It's about precision, it's about speed, it's about smart collaboration, and that's what exactly you'll experience this evening. And to do so, we have with us an eminent set of speakers that will be addressing us today. These design experts and technology experts are shaping the future of the AEC industry through digital transformation, redefining how we design, build, and connect. Let me also inform you all, as I said, we are live streaming and this event, and the event is being live streamed on Realty Plus social media platforms. So don't forget to tag your moments with us at RP Realty Plus on Facebook and Twitter, and RP_Realty on Instagram, and also Nemetschek Group India at YouTube, and Nemetschek India at LinkedIn, Instagram, and Facebook. So do visit these pages. And now, to set the stage, let's take a look at what Realty Plus and Nemetschek stand for. Can we have the AV, please?
Welcome to a journey of India's dynamic growth in the architecture, engineering, construction and operations industry, an industry that is playing a transformative role in the unprecedented growth of India's economy. With rapid growth and increasing competition, Indian AECO companies are embracing innovative technologies and solutions to boost their productivity, enhance quality, lower costs and stay ahead of the curve. At the core of the Nemetschek story is a desire to go beneath the surface to understand the challenges and needs and then create a solution for it. Nemetschek has been driving digital transformation in the AEC industry for over 60 years. It is leading AEC companies into the future of digitalization with intelligent software solutions. Our responsibility towards our society and the environment drives us to create cutting-edge solutions that allow our clients to plan, build and manage buildings and infrastructure projects more efficiently and sustainably. At Nemetschek, we firmly believe in open industry standards and open BIM and empower every user in every phase of the building life cycle with the best software solutions. As a country with the largest population in the world and an emerging superpower, India's development has been on a rapid rise. As with every growth story, this too is followed by unique challenges for the AEC industry. At Nemetschek, we have focused on the specific gaps and needs of the Indian market to create innovative software solutions. As a global frontrunner focusing on the specific needs of the Indian market, we offer innovative software solutions that benefit every stakeholder for the entire AECO life cycle. Several very prestigious projects in India were realized using Nemetschek solutions. Sangat Architect Studio, New Parliament Building, Abhikalpan Business Park, Rajkumari Ratnavati Girls School, Abhikalpan Skybay, Tagore Memorial Theatre, Ahmedabad Gufa. As we shape the world in all dimensions, we have made it our mission to become the chosen and trusted partner of AECO and digital construction. Nemetschek is committed to delivering innovative solutions to meet every challenge and beyond. Be part of a new journey towards a better BIM solution, more cost-effective than your traditional tool.
Some people are born to show the world which path to choose in a crisis. Some brands are born to do the same. And during the times of challenge, the stalwarts of the Indian real estate industry have chosen to do just that. By showing others the way to finding opportunities even amidst a crisis. By showing the world how to go about delivering on promises even amidst adversity. Success doesn't just happen. It happens by design. By pushing the boundaries, by raising the path. It takes days to develop a vision and nights to make it a reality. Knowing that pictures are worth 1,000 words and that every word makes a difference. It's doing the research, trusting your instinct, and finishing what you started. For the past 20 years, Realty Plus has been turning obstacles into opportunities. Keeping the industry informed on the latest developments. Innovating to inspire debates and discussions. Bringing forth the perspectives of the industry leaders. Honoring hard work and achievements, keeping the industry connected. This is what we are built on. This is what we are building. We are Realty Plus, and we lead the way.
So that was a quick glimpse of two powerful brands shaping India's built environment and design technology ecosystem. Let's now have a brief introduction of Nemetschek India from none other than Mr. Manideep Saha, Senior General Manager and Head of Channel Business at Nemetschek India, to tell us what exactly Nemetschek India stands for. Mr. Manideep Saha, let me invite you on stage. And a brief introduction of Mr. Saha. He has spent more than 3 decades in the IT industry. That includes 25 years in the AEC infrastructure and engineering industries. So he knows what he's talking about. Prior to Nemetschek, he has successfully led South Asia businesses at Autodesk, Bentley, Dassault Systems, and Hexagon, where he was personally responsible for the tremendous success of a lot of now popular CAD, BIM collaboration, and project management tools. So, Mr. Saha, over to you now.
Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. Thank you, Sapna, for the kind words. And I'm very excited because this is the second leg of our Archicad 29 launch. We had the same one in Bangalore 2 days back, and we had to find chairs to bring in, people like full 100 plus people. And I think we had some great conversations, a lot of passion, interactions, and I hope to see more people join in. It's a bad evening out there, very, rainy, unseasonal rains. Nonetheless, and it's a Friday evening, so probably we are stopping you from going to your parties and clubs. But nonetheless, thank you so much for being here. It just goes on to say that, this group here, this team here, the people out here are passionate about what you do, about the technologies that you use and the industry that you serve. And of course, specifically for architects, creativity and innovation go hand in hand. And I think that's what we're going to talk about more and more, because as an organization, we also thrive on the same two principles of creativity and innovation. So basically, I just thought, because many of you have been using Archicad, many of you have probably heard it for the first time. So I just wanted to set the context here. And so the company that I represent, Nemetschek, owns multiple brands. Archicad, which was part of the Graphisoft brand, is now owned by Nemetschek. And we have a lot more products. I'm going to spend probably another 7-8 minutes to talk through what Nemetschek represents, what's the context of this entire event today, and then I'll hand it over to our presenters for the actual deep down conversations on what we have in Archicad, the new things, exciting possibilities, and so on. Um, so as you can see, the agenda here is the Discover Archicad 29, the next generation features and integrations. So we're going to spend a little time on what Archicad is as it stands today, for the benefit of people who have probably heard of Archicad for the first time or are just getting exposed to. So people who are old users of Archicad, Ajay sir, bear with us. This is going to be a little boring for you, but okay. And then we'll quickly shift gears to what's the new exciting feature set that we have in Archicad 29. And then we have a great success story presentation by architect Ajay Tope, who is one of the most passionate Archicad users that we have in India. He's done lots of projects, and I don't want to steal his thunder. Let him speak through what he thinks is, his passion all about. And then we have another keynote speaker, Mr. Swabiman Das. He's senior director at Space Metrics. Is he here? Not yet. Okay. So we have a keynote speak from them, and then we'll open it up for Q&A and networking, and I'm sure we'll all learn from each other quite a lot in this. Um, right. So a little about Nemetschek. I'm sure you've heard of Nemetschek brand. In case you haven't, so I thought I'll just give you an introduction. So we are a 60-year-old company, and essentially we talk about three things. This is the gentleman out here. He is Professor Jörg Nemetschek. He founded this company almost 63 or 64 years back. He still is very active. And so three things that we advocate is open BIM, a completely holistic approach in terms of the life cycle of buildings, right from planning design to handover. And basically, the key thing for us is that all our software, not just Archicad, we have a bunch of other software. They're all actually made by the experts for the experts. For example, Archicad, our entire development team is actually a bunch of architects and designers who have built this software, who are doing constant R&D to make it more and more perfect for architects, because that's a language people understand. Uh, in terms of size, we are almost $1 billion company. This is last year's results, announced results. And we have almost 4,500 employees. We address 4 key segments, and we have more than 7 million users now. It's ever growing. So the 4 segments that we address primarily are planning and design, build, construct, operate and manage, and we also have in media and entertainment, because this comes hand in hand with all the design that you do in terms of how do you present it to your customers, to your stakeholders, etc. So this basically covers the entire life cycle of the AECO or infrastructure engineering industry, as you are part of that. So in terms of the solutions, we have a lot of solutions. Some of the key ones which are specifically tuned into the 4 segments that we have. So planning and design, we have products like Graphisoft or Archicad, which we are here for, and we have other products like Allplan, Riza, which is for structural design, Solibri for basically clash checking, Vectorworks, again, a purpose-built tool for interior designs and landscape design. Build Construct, we have steel detailing software, then we have design tools for heavy civil engineering projects, then we have Operate and Manage, we have products like Spacewell, etc. And there are three platforms that go kind of pan across uh, these three segments, which is digital twin. I'm sure all of you have heard of this, and this is a key buzzword. But at Nemetschek, we actually go and implement this in terms of right from planning and design up to operation handover, which really means that you are able to leverage the entire project through the digital twin. And then we have products like these D-Ropers, and Bluebeam is another product. I'm sure most of you would have heard of it. This is again a solution that pans across pretty much the entire life cycle, and not just architecture, but the entire engineering sector, if you may. And we have media and entertainment. We have a product called Maxon. Some of you may have heard of it. We represent that in India through a different set of channel partners. But yes, that's a very, very popular product in the AEC industry. So in terms of the life cycle, if I may just do a little deep dive. So when we are talking about planning and design, we're talking about BIM and digital twin, which goes right across the spectrum. So planning and design could mean program management, modeling and design, structural design analysis, build construction would be detailing, engineering consulting, fabrication, and so on and so forth. And operating management is basically all the space management, property management, smart buildings, and renovation, demolition, which is something which is probably emerging in India now, because as the buildings grow old, we have to, especially large infrastructure. So demolition, etc., is also something that is coming up as a key requirement for a lot of our customers. Uh, as a company, we continue to invest on a lot of new technologies. So you see a whole lot of startups or uh, companies that we have bought in the recent past, and we continue to buy. And these are again very specific uh, parts of the AEC industry. So, for example, 3D scanning, construction quality assurance, construction project management, construction progress monitoring, collaborative solutions, robotic solutions for construction sites, AI-powered image and text search solutions. Then we have schedule control, like, and the list goes on. I mean, this is just a partial list. We have almost 20 or 25 acquisitions that we've been making, and Nemetschek as a group continues to invest on these, grow these products, and makes it more market ready across the globe. Typically, these are born in certain countries, and then we try and make it as global as possible. For instance, we bought Graphisoft, I think, if I'm not mistaken, almost about 25 years back. And today we've made Archicad the product it is, and it's a very, very well accepted product in the BIM and AEC industry. Um, so, sorry, yeah. Okay, I missed this. Right, okay. So these are these six pillars that our entire solutioning is built around, the entire go-to-market of Nemetschek is built around. So AI and sustainability, I really don't have to talk about this. Everyone knows about it, and we have actually gone and implemented AI in all our products, and you will hear a lot of that in Archicad 29, the way it has been implemented. Business models, there are emerging business models. It's no longer an architect who's just doing. There's a whole lot of stakeholders, ecosystem players who have to work together. So collaboration becomes so critical. Go to markets. One Nemetschek platform is something that we are trying to promote across the world. So as to bring in a lot of consistency. M&A and ventures I talked about, and business enablement. I think these are the six pillars that we work on as a business. This is our go to market. And I think we are poised to see a lot of success as we go forward. Uh, just to set the context of today's presentation, AI is definitely one of the key elements. So it's actually delivering faster impact on the key trends, be it sustainability, interoperability, which is a huge concern, even as we have so many advanced technologies. With all due respect, they're great products, but there's still a huge issue of interoperability between one product and another. So collaboration, interoperability becomes a key issue here. And finally, digital twins, the real digital twin in the true sense, which you can start from planning and design, go right up to operation and handover. Okay, so where you are actually able to see a physical model getting converted to digital, and you are actually able to not just monitor the project in its design and construction phase, but also in handover and management phase. And of course, the underlying factor is AI, and we are actually building in AI in all products that we have. Right? So this is a quick snapshot of what I had to present, and thank you. And I'm going to invite my colleague Sivaraman. He's going to talk about, he's our product specialist. He's going to talk about some of the key, if I may use the word, hero features of Archicad as it stands today. Just to give you a brief overview, especially for people who are, exposed to Archicad for the first time, for people who are already using Archicad, just bear with us, and then we'll jump into 29 version. Thank you very much.
Thanks, Mr. Shah, for giving us those insights on what Nemetschek India is all about and its strategies for Indian AEC sector and for all the stakeholders. And as Manideep mentioned, our next speaker to tell us about what Archicad is exactly, what are the new innovations happening in that segment. Let me invite on stage Sivaram Balasubramaniam, product specialist for the architecture segment at Nemetschek India. And a brief introduction of our speaker. He's an architect by profession himself. So, who better to talk about the software? He holds a master's degree in construction project management and is both a Graphisoft certified technical support specialist and BIM manager himself. He has worked closely with architects, designers, and BIM teams throughout India, helping them discover smarter and more efficient ways to design using Archicad. So, Siva, over to you now.
Thank you for the kind introduction, team. Um, so, good evening, everyone. I could see a great expertise of architects in front of me, and I would like to start my presentation by saying that architecture is constantly evolving. If you can see, we have used and we have tried multiple tools, and we couldn't say not all of them evolved with us or with our needs. And that is where Archicad comes in the forefront. They don't just adapt, they lead, and they show the way for other tools and the market that what can be done with the tools that we have today. And on the screen, I have a snippet of the earliest user interface of Archicad from probably 1987, I guess. So I just wanted to show the legacy, and as a user from over the last decade, and I could say I have been on the other side of the screen watching all the updates of the previous generation, and for the first time on this side of the screen. And I'm super excited along with you guys to see what is new on this version and on this update. And Archicad has been working and growing along with architects and engineers over the years, and it has been evolved, and it is more than relevant than ever before. So with the smart visualizations, collaborations, and all these things, I think you'll be seeing all that on the upcoming presentations. So I'd like to talk about the capabilities which Archicad um, can do already. So existing users might get bored, but this is mostly for the new users. So I'm excited to show what my favorite software can do. So let's jump into that. So we call Archicad 29 the best design experience. You could have seen it on the entrance. You could have seen it there. You could even see it on here. So it's not just a marketing slogan. The existing users can relate to it because Archicad kind of gives you the freedom to design and lets you focus on the design, and the software kind of takes the um, part of complexity. So you have the you have your time on designing, and exploring your thoughts and bringing your visions into life. And the software will take care of all the complex parts, paperwork, and stuff for you. So all of these things comes in a single environment where all your primary sketches to your construction documentation is happening everything in one unanimous environment. So that is why we call it the best design experience. So to simply explain what Archicad is in a sentence, I would say it is a BIM authoring tool that helps us, the designers, architects, and engineers, to create a model that is fed up with all the information, and then we could use that model to extract the documentations that we need out of it, to collaborate with our team, let it be internal or external team, and then produce data driven documents and collaboration. So that is where Archicad comes in as a BIM authoring, not just a BIM authoring tool, but the best design tool out there. So I would say Archicad is BIM crafted by architects for architects. So what do we usually look for in a design tool or any tool today? So we would like to have a software that will help us freely design something, that can help us visualize something, and the important part that we would like to work in a collaborative environment, to work with our teammates. And then the last part is to document all these things. So that is where Archicad comes in as a package, and it lets you do all of these things within the same environment, within the same software. And I'll be quickly diving deep into these aspects of the four core pillars of a designer's workflow. So Archicad basically helps us design, right? So it helps us tackle projects, whatever the scale of the project be. Let it be a small residential project, or let it be a high stacked project. So that is where Archicad comes in with its strong user interface, intuitive guidelines and stuff, where people could quickly learn it, and then they could explore and design, and that's where the user interface comes in handy. So here we have the creative flow, where Archicad helps us create and manage 2D and 3D in a unanimous work environment, where we could simultaneously work on 2D and 3D, and the design changes gets reflected on both the spaces and onto the sheets that we have exported, onto the takeoffs that we have taken from the drawing. So this lets us focus more on the design aspects of our project, more than jumping between the views and changing all the designs here and there. And there are tools like the curtain walls, the stair tools, the morph, and the shell tools. So these tools help us create complex shapes, and it helps us create or bring our visions into life by modeling them. So that is how Archicad also helps us create these complex elements. And then we also have the collaboration between Rhino and Grasshopper to bring in some of the parametric part into Archicad. So as we can see in today's design world, everything is parametric. We could see architects love learning parametric stuff. Even during college, they learn Rhino and Grasshopper. So we Archicad people just thought, okay, you're good at it. Let's bring that expertise into Archicad. So we have this plugin that lets you create complex shapes inside Rhino, and we use that plugin to convert those elements into BIM elements inside Archicad. So this way you can have precision and control over your complicated shapes, and you can also get it parametric by controlling all these parameters. And one more design feature I would say is the integrated design options. So we all have this habit of creating multiple design options. We name it option number one, option number two, final one, and all that. So that is where these integrated design options comes in as a feature. So I don't have to create duplicate files of all these different options, where I could manage all these options within the same file itself. So I can have option A, option B, option C, and then I can present it during my client presentation, and I can switch and juggle between these options. And then when the client goes with some certain option, then we could delete all the options and go with the final one. So this kind of helps us with not juggling with different duplicated files, getting confused between ourselves what we have made in each of these files. And let's move on to the visualization part. So this is something very exciting for the new users. Um, so most of the softwares that we use today do not come with inbuilt rendering engines. So we start with a 2D workflow, we bring it into a 3D software, we build 3D structures, and then we move on to another software to make renders of these things. So that is where Archicad comes in with two inbuilt rendering engines. One is Cinemaware from Maxon, and one is Redshift. So you get the option to create your own renders based on these rendering engines. So this will help you create your renders on the initial stage itself, while selecting your surfaces or materials, instead of having to go to your visualization team. And Archicad can also help you create certain animations and um, visualization aspects like walkthroughs and fly-throughs. You can simulate real-time sun path and shadow into your building just by giving in the latitude and longitude information. Archicad can simulate the real-time sun path into the site, and we can generate the shadows and the sun path within the openings through our buildings. So this can again come handy when we are trying to impress our clients, right? We just don't do walls and paint them. We do a lot of study before designing all these buildings. And we do have an inbuilt vast library of surfaces and parametric objects. And we could also bring in objects from any other 3D resources. We could bring in Rhino objects, we could bring in all the SketchUp objects. But the objects inside Archicad I would call smart parametric objects. So as you can see on the clipping here, these objects are quickly adjusted. Let's say a three-seater sofa is made into a two-seater sofa or an L-shaped sofa just by adjusting these parameters. And we can also create these objects by doing a little bit of GDL coding, and we can get all the elements within Archicad just by drag and dropping it inside Archicad. And of course, um, we all like to work with the latest stuff on the internet today. That is Enscape, DeFi. People are making realistic renders these days. When I was in college, I used to do Twinmotion, Lumion. It used to be so glossy, right? So now these softwares that lets you brings in the external elements into Archicad, and we all know how the struggle is to move these elements inside those rendering softwares. So that is where with Enscape, you can bring all these elements into Archicad. It is bidirectional and live. For example, let's say if we have a design team and a visualization team sitting in our own office, we could still connect it live, make those changes in design, and still get those renders. We cannot, I mean, we don't have to export it and then bring back to the design team, get another export. So that kind of live renderings and walkthrough is possible with the today's technologies like Enscape and D5. And BIMX is one of the greatest feature, I would say, in the visualization part of Archicad. People use it for different purposes, but for me, I use BIMX to showcase my designs and brag about my designs with my friends. So BIMX I would call as BIM on the go. So you can put your entire BIM project, your model, your documentation all together into a format called BIMX hypermodel, and then you can put these model into your smartphone and you can carry it everywhere. You can even put it on a drive, like a cloud drive. You can share the link with your clients, and your clients can open those link on a browser, and they could see your models, the sections, details, and all that you have generated. And let's move to the collaborate part of Archicad. So this is where we have something called as BIM Cloud. So BIM Cloud basically acts like a Google Cloud or your Google Drive. So I can just upload my Archicad project onto the BIM Cloud. Let's say if I am working away from my office, I'll download the file from the BIM Cloud, and then I'll start working from my personal computer. Or there is one more function with BIM Cloud called Teamwork. So I can share my project in Team Cloud with my colleagues, so that even if I'm not geographically in the same location with my team, I could still work on the same project with my colleagues at the same time. So we can communicate within the file, and I can assign something to my colleague and ask him to change it or do it. So that is how BIM Cloud helps us with um, collaboration within internal teams as well as the external teams. And integration within Archicad. So to talk about integration, Archicad can seamlessly work with some of the softwares that I mentioned here. Like if you want to do certain clash detections or rule-based checkups, you can put it on Solibri, and then you can do all these things. If you want to collaborate your projects and push all your document into Bluebeam to and if you want your team to sit on and review on those PDFs, you can push it into Bluebeam. And you can work with your partners who are working with Revit. So you can bring your Revit models as reference, and you can work with them. So that is how integration comes as a internal part within Archicad. So more on integration, I'd like to talk a little bit about OpenBIM. So to simply explain OpenBIM, I would give you an example of, let's say, if I'm working on something like a Word document or an Excel document, and I want to share that file with my colleague or someone who I'm collaborating with, I would share it in a format called PDF, because I don't want them to edit my Excel or my Word file directly, right? So IFC is the format where I would save my BIM model in the IFC format, and then I would share it with my colleagues or my contractors or my consultants. So they could use that IFC file as a reference, and then they can build their BIM model. Let it be their preferred BIM software, let it be Archicad or Revit or Allplan or Vectorworks, and then they will give me back their IFC files, which I can link it back, and then I can use it as a reference to build my own project with that. So that is how IFC works within the OpenBIM concept. And again, within Archicad, we have all the three disciplines like MEP, structural and architecture built within work environments. For example, if I'm an architect and I work in a architectural environment. Environment is something like the user interface. So basically, my user interface would be set into architectural. And if I go to my colleague's desk and if I see his Archicad, it would be completely different. It would be set into structural user interface. He has his tools um, on his views and all that. So we can customize and integrate Archicad based on what we do with the software. So everything is integrated within the same package. We can just switch between these environment to jump and customize it based on what are we doing with the software. And more on OpenBIM, I'd like to stress upon a point that with OpenBIM, IFC is the format. There is no other proprietary format. So we don't say that you will have to use our format to collaborate with your colleagues or your stakeholders. So we want OpenBIM as open, so that we want to create an ecosystem where any creative discipline should be able to work together. So let it be the format, whatever it could be. So that is what we are committing today. And not just Archicad, all the Nemetschek products here are committed towards the open BIM approach. And to talk about the interoperability, you can see the circle over here and all the different file formats Archicad can read and write. So it is a bunch. So I just wanted to highlight a few and put it on the corners here and there. So on the left, you can see all the popular softwares that we already work. We can bring those inside Archicad by dragging and dropping it inside. And on the right side, we have the softwares that we usually use for creating walkthroughs or renders. And we could make use of these softwares like the Inkscape, Twinmotion, Lumion to create renders and visualizations right away from Archicad. And finally, the documentation part. So I personally like to design a lot and hate the documentation part where sit and create details and all that. So that is where Archicad comes in and helps you focus on the design, and it takes the paperwork part of your drawings. So within Archicad, we have this out of the box documentation system. So basically, all these drawings are generated because we built a 3D model. And from that 3D model, we have fed all the information. And that 3D model, we have cut it like horizontally and vertically. So that gives us the drawings, our sections, elevations, and plans. So these sections and plans already have all the information because we have already fed it with the 3D model while we are building it. So I could quickly control these views by adding or adjusting my layers. I decide what I need in my view, and then I'll basically turn off the things that I know I don't need. And then I have more control with model view options. I could decide what level of detail I need in an element. For example, if I want to just show my door opening and not a door, I could do that without changing the door. I'll just switch between the model view options. And if I wanted to show a fully detailed door with the leaf and all these things, I could again switch it and not go back and change the door setting or something like that. So all these things I can set it up, and then I can quickly juggle between all these to kind of create what I want to see in my drawing or documentation. So once I create all those documentation, I put it on the sheets, and then I just click publish. And within a single click of publish, all these drawings get extracted into the desired format. Let it be PDF or let it be DWGs. So within a single click, all these drawings would go and sit on the folder that we have created, or we could even put it on the cloud directly. So we can do all these things here. So the main part is when there is a design change, and then I make some changes on the design, and then I come back to the publisher set, and then I click on update, all the changes that I've made gets automatically updated on the documentations. So that is where most of the time saving happens. And to talk about accuracy and credibility, as most of the information that are already feeded, for example, if I want to give some annotations, I don't have to go and label my wall as wall, because Archicad knows it's a wall, because that is how I made it. So I click on label, and then I click on my wall. It creates, this is wall number 1, this is the material that is made up with, and all that information that I wanted to put on that particular label is there. And then it also works with the levels and the annotations and the dimensions and all that. Since it is built up in such way, I just have to click all the points and then drag it, and my annotations are done. And again, setting up the standard with the documentation. Some of these might sound like doing a lot of settings here and there. It is kind of true, and that is how BIM works. So once we do all these settings, what we could do, we could put all of these as a template, and we can use these template within all our other projects. So once we are done with a project, we kind of work a lot. We make a lot of changes onto the design elements, um, onto the annotation parts, because every architecture firm has a standard of, let's say, a drawing template, an office standard, and all these things we can put into the Archicad template, and then we can just throw it onto different projects, and then we can straight away start working once the template is created. So that is most of the features that I wanted to talk about. And here are some of the buildings that is built around the world using Archicad. There's supposed to be a nice music playing along. It's okay. So yeah, millions of great buildings. 120 plus trusted users in the countries, and 14 years of consequent BIM product of the year. It's not by choice, it's by design. And I'd like to end my presentation here, and let's move to the updates part. I'm also excited to see all these updates. So thank you guys. Thank you for your time.
Thanks, Siva, for giving all the details about Archicad, and we missed the music part for sure. Um, so, as Siva said, this is a software designed by the architects for the architects, and that's why the best in design experience what it gives. But that is not all. There are many new features which Archicad 29 now presents. And to talk about these new features, let me call on stage Siddharth Bhagwat, a seasoned architect once again, and digital strategist with over 15 years of experience spanning architecture, real estate development, and construction management. As AGM customer success at Nemetschek, he plays a key role in guiding clients across India and the EPIC region on advanced BIM workflows using tools like Archicad, Vectorworks, and Solibri. Siddharth, over to you. Let's hear about the new features.
Hello. Yeah. So is it audible? Yeah. So good evening, everyone. So my name is Architect Siddharth Bhagwat, and today I'm gonna show some of the quick features of Archicad 2029. So I see a great site here. But just now somebody told me that there are various people, there are groups of architects, there are engineers. From our perspective, what we see is like creators, dreamers, and visionaries. So who are shaping the who are shaping the whole world. And today it's my pleasure to introduce you one of the most powerful design experience you're gonna have it from the Archicad, one of the best portfolio from the Nemetschek portfolio. And it's a software designed by architects for the architects. It's a fun to use, yet limitless in imagination. So none other than that, I'm gonna talk about some of the features. And even Archicad has laid almost many decades to digital design practice, and some of the key features we're gonna talk today. And I hope you're all excited, right? I didn't see any energy in this. Are you excited? Yes. Good, very good. So let's start it. Yeah, everybody say AI is the future, right? We already believe that AI is there, and that's why if you see Archicad 2028, we already launched AI visualizer. Now with 2029, we have just elevated it. It's 2.0, and it's not a artificial. We didn't call AI as an artificial. We call architectural intelligence. So it's a next leap in a technology, and we're gonna see, and you are the guys who gonna see this new leap the Archicad has taken. So all AI assistant design, a best experience you're gonna have for 2029. So let's say we built this AI assistant on four basic foundations. So first is the productivity. The whole purpose to have this AI assistant inside your design is to have your 10x productivity. And those, even some of them are new with the software, they can have onboarding experience. So seamless onboarding is also one of the crucial foundation of the AI system. Then design insight, and most important, your designs are your IPs, right? And that need to be protected. So it's a data security, what we power through a Gemini engine, and it's inbuilt inside your software. So let me talk about more detail, and let's go one by one. So whole AI assistant focus is into three major components. The first thing is the product knowledge. Know your product much better. It's inbuilt inside you. Ask him anything, it will give you the answer instantly. BIM queries and AI visualizer was earlier part of the 28th version of the Archicad. Now there is an integration with the AI assistant to AI visualizer. I'm going to talk more detail, and we're going to see one of the more innovations coming up. This is just a early stage of it, but hang on it. Excited? Yes. Okay, cool. I'm excited. Yes. So product knowledge. This AI assistant will tell you about your product. He knows the Archicad much better. It's been trained to your all the training materials, all the learn portal material, all the user based material already been trained there. So just ask him a question. Hey, how should I draw the walls? How should I draw something like that? So all your queries can solve instantly. You're gonna have all those features inbuilt inside your software. So I know architects works at late, and they want at 2 3 a.m. they want something, and then we build a friend for you which can at least give you some few answers and immediate this response and few answers through a AI system. And it's inbuilt inside. So your product knowledge, he knows your product knowledge, and you're going to deep dive into that product knowledge. Second thing is your readability check, right? It's always difficult, right? We are humans, we tend to make mistakes. There are always, on 10th hour there is a overlap between this thing. Like if you add a dimension, then automatically dimension overlap with the text. You can actually proof check this through your AI assistants. So this is where you get your proof checking through AI assistant. We want that your creativity, you focus on to your creativity, you focus on to building your own designs, your aspects, your design thinking. Let the documentation worry about the AI system. Then domain knowledge. So it knows your whole domain, like even like regulations related, or minimum space you required for the fire norms. All this thing. Why you need to switch on with a different Google? You can directly assist it. There is a Gemini engine inside here which you can give you more exact insight about what you want. So while designing, so we are trying to change the whole design concept where data driven can be also worked with. You always get this question like, where is that my, how much should I have this? Am I having this? So let's have a cross check with this. Let AI assistant help you in that. So you build it right, you build it precise, build it smarter, build it deeper, build it bolder. Then BIM queries, right? Even you tend to get some of the queries like, okay, how many doors I have it? How many doors I have it with a so much and so much of dimension. You're gonna ask it, and it will give it. When we say BIM, I is very important. Information is very crucial, and you can play with that. You can literally play with that. Build your model, play with your information. So tomorrow, if client asks you a question, you can immediately answer the question precisely, instantly, directly. So that's what the AI assistant does to you. So that's why we are building a new ecosystem, new thing, and new innovation cutting edge innovation, so that you will get a best design experience. Yeah, AI visualizer, you already know that, you already explored that, right? Instantly, it gives you at least few, your, 10 different options, and then you can choose from those 10 different options to, two best options to initially work onto your design. So it saves you already a time, but now AI assistant and AI visualizer are combined together. So just prompt it, add your prompt, say to the prompt, okay, I am visualizing this thing, or I wanted to have visualization this, it will give you instant result, and which saves you a lot of time. With a client, you need to discuss something, which you don't know, right? As a architects, as a designers, as a engineers, you don't know what you're building, how you're building. So you can build a very early stage design, maybe through AI base, and then verify it, and then further precisely do the documentation for it. Saves your time, right? Yep. Then there is a documentational precise tools are there, where through AI assistant you can ask your auto dimension. Just say dimension the floor. Just say dimension certain part of it. It will do the dimension for you. So you can focus on to your own concept, your creativity, your space requirements, and all those things. Focus on to your designing the best experiences. Even labeling, sometimes it's going to be very pain job, right? Make sure you label there, right there, or not there. So you can also add your labeling, smart labeling tools, and you can work along with the your own design concepts. Focus on to the documentation will be, leave it to the AI assistant, and this is still a beta version, and going forward it's going to come more and more better version, which gonna let you do it much faster, much better, and exact how you intended for your client. So as we are covered with the AI tools, I'm going to talk about some of the new standalone license which we have started. So MEP designer. So no, we thought that this is the there when we say designers, there is a MEP part is still missing, and with this 2029 MEP design is been launched, and now you can start complete design of the whole MEP systems, your ducting, your piping, all part of it. You can build it here, and that not only just like building your like in CAD software. This is more of like intuitive sketching. Same like Archicad experience what you had, you're gonna have it inside into your software, and you can just build it, sketch it. Even Mac users can be now, MEP designers can be a Mac users, and I think so this is a big leap, right? Architects do used to enjoy that Mac feel and working on that. Why not MEP designers? Now you're gonna have it. So I think so this is the one of the great leap which we're gonna have it, and I'm gonna quickly show you a video, and we're gonna see the video, and then we're gonna discuss more into those features as well. So let me play the video. Hope the music will work. Yeah, it's working. Hope you like it. So all this experience which you saw, like what do you do build in a Archicad, you're gonna have it inside the MEP designer, and that's a standalone license for the MEP users and all those things. So let's deep dive into each features. So it's a powerful effortless modeling, MEP modeling, which you can do, and those where you can draw your all piping, ducting, all fire requirements, however, like a sketch, like a intuitive sketch in a 2D 3D, and that's effective enough to you know why how you draw it in any kind of Archicad, like just follow the command and then it will follow it. Even you can do a clash detection and collision detection inside this, where you can, while designing in your early stage, you can find out, okay, there is a, how among the fire and among the duct, how you can coordinate among there as well. So it's an early stage of quick clash detection, as well as there is a direct integration with a Solibri, so that you can find a detailed clash detection and DCF tool, collaboration platform in together as well. So a powerful clash detection in early stage, as well as effortless modeling in MEP in all all kind of a system. So we believe into the MEP is more of a breathing for the building, and that's what we are providing a intuitive software solution for them as well. Even then, there are comprehensive documentation and scheduling also there, where similar like how you do it in a Archicad, same a complete documentation for whatever the model you have created, whatever the drawing you have created, whatever your design you have created, you can seamlessly create your documentation. Then it also has a interoperability and huge amount of libraries inside there, objects which you can update, create, and so on and so forward. So it's a whole data ecosystem which we are building it. Even you can customize your API and create your own custom tools. So MEP designer is where a whole additional ecosystem is also built in here as well. So just to talk about the whole product, let me just briefly talk about some of the products. So it has a built-in MEP functionalities which are like a modeling. So you can do a specific modeling like your ducting, piping, and your cable trays and all those things. Even your calculation point of view, you can create your various calculation for your ventilation and heating and cooling requirement. Even a same whole, once you build your whole model, those model you can further document it using a symbolic representation. You always require some of the quick symbolic representation to get approvals and all those technicalities, as well as you require some of the annotations and scheduling, all this part also there. So just not a design, it will start with the design, modeling, and your documentation. As well as then library is also, you can there are generic MEP library objects are there, plus you can build it on it. And if you see a MEP add-ons, there are n number of add-ons are there. There are AI based add-ons are also coming in a market as well, but I'm not covering whole part of it, but whole as an add-on system, there are a lot of calculations and detailed calculations and more of larger context, manufacturing libraries, and all those things can be included inside this. So it's a whole ecosystem, evolving ecosystem is building. So it's easy to learn because already it is there in a Archicad platform, and limitless once it is mastered. So it's like you can go into extremist of the where you want to design all the MEP systems, and you can really build those things using this software. So quite a interesting thing, and I will recommend you to try to get on today's intuitive experience through a MEP, like how a designer should be. Yes, so we are in a age of innovations, and through BMX Apple Vision Pro. So we have a Vision Pro here, and whatever I'm saying here is probably not the exact experience you're gonna get it. What we'll recommend you, maybe after the session over, you can try that Vision Pro, try the product. There is a direct BMX connection is there. It's a full 3D immersive experience. You're gonna have it for your your client. You always have some story to tell, right, with your client. You tell your story, you build your design, and it's a intuitive. It's not a just a visualization, right? It's a realization. You build this and you can realize your client what you are building it. This is what a power of VR can be do, or AR VR can do using the BMX as well as the whole. So we are building whole as a technology, as a ecosystems, and throughout the designing part, sketching part, to documentation, to a immersive experience. And now most awaited and eagerly awaited innovation by Archicad is, I'm just going to show, and it's not going to launch this year. Next year probably is going to launch, and the exact date is going to mention it soon. So it's more of a tool where, a web-based tool where you can go to your location, you can derive to your location, you can build, go to into that, design, you find out, you can use an AI assistant to ask some of the requirements, then build your buildings. Once you build your building, then you can, quickly design your initial concepts. Define those concepts. It's a residential, it's a commercial project. Define those things. Once you define it, find out from the, your sun shadow requirement, your further, all those requirements you can find out, build it there, early stage designs. Once you build it, then maybe quickly see from the visuals of the AI visualizer, right? You analyze it, get approval from your client, and once you approve from the client, then go back to your Archicad, build it, document it, coordinate it, and explore it. I think so this is going to be great. So make sure, I'm keeping this QR code for 1 minute. You can quickly take a scan of this, join the wish list, and it's gonna be one of the great experience. You have this already intuitive experience while designing, right? So that experience you're gonna also have it for the web-based designing, and let's explore that. This is your wish list. Let's be a part of this innovation and explore it. So yeah, so as we talked about it, there are some of the features are still left and untold. There are many more features are there, and I cannot cover this into a complete this because considering we have time, a very limited time. So I'm gonna throw through some of the basics and main new features, and then we're gonna go one by one. So renovation status for the markers. So basically all your initial various phases, zones, you can do it inside this flawlessly now. Even there is a now interactive schedule and improvements. Now you can do totals, you can do a further customization when you bring your schedule and customization. There is a direct import, direct opening in your sections and elevations. You can directly create those openings. And now native OBJ files can support to all your Archicad, if you want to import. So even it is it AutoCAD related or base related, you can import your OBJ files now, and you can filter now your select and unused views as well. And there is a further built-in inside integration like Solibri, Bluebeam or Beam Plus, so you can still become a one great ecosystem. And there are more MEP related tool sets are there, like a detailed symbolic representation, which we just quickly saw, even hydraulic systems calculations, and some of the segmental roots of the whole MEP systems as well. So what's there is, so it's a one model, one language, collaboration, ecosystem. We are building the whole best design experience for the whole ecosystem. See, this ecosystem is ever evolving. And when we say best design experience, we always tend to say, you have your submissions, you do drawings, you submit this drawing to your client, you always have something, but end of the day what you want is you should enjoy what you do. And the Archicad experience what will give you is the fun to use yet limitless in imagination. So thank you very much for the quick attention, and you have a QR code. If you need any demos or any kind of a quick support, we are there now. As a Nemetschek, we are there. We want to hear from you as a users. Please give us more feedback regarding what you wanted in the software, so that we are customer centric and we do want to improve in those in a future line. So thank you very much for your time. Thank you.
Thanks, Siddharth, for in detail telling us all the new features of Archicad 29. And as he said, it's not only for designers, but also for engineers, and it is the AI assisted tool. So architects and designers and engineers can just focus on what do they best, and rest is all taken care of by Archicad 29. Now up next, let's move from innovation to collaboration. Let's discover how Archicad connects with BIMX and Solibri to create seamless real-time workflows. And to tell us about that, the power of collaboration, connected workflows, is Vimal Kumar, Customer Success Manager at Graphisoft Asia. Vimal is proficient in BIM software, including Archicad, Solibri, Revit, and Tekla structures, and has experience developing APIs and plugins for these platforms. And his blend of academic knowledge, practical experience, and technical skills enables him to provide exceptional support and innovative solutions to his clients, fostering their success in leveraging BIM technology. So, Vimal, thank you so much. Join us here to tell us about the power of collaboration.
All right. Thank you, Swapna. Hello, everyone. I hope you can hear me, right? Yeah. Okay. So I'm Vimal from Graphisoft Singapore. I'm customer success manager there. So today I'm going to present the integrated design workflows. So if you guys are already BIM users and if you are interested in integrating your workflows digitally with the other tools, here is the presentation for you. And if you're still in 2D, maybe this would be an enticing presentation that would give the insights of how far you could go with BIM. Okay. So without further ado, let's jump into the presentation. So these are the tools that I'm going to use today. So for BIM authoring, I'm going to show Archicad, and for dear of us, we are going to use it as a data management tool. So some of you might have heard these tools or worked with these tools, but if it is new for you, I'm going to give an explanation later with the video. So don't worry about that. So here I'm just giving a one-line explanation of what these tools would be doing for us. And then BIMX is a visualization tool, of course, but I would like to call it as a data access tool. The reason I would tell it through my presentation later. Okay, and then we have Solibri, which is going to be a model checker, and we also have BIM Cloud, which is a collaboration platform. So this is like a model-based collaboration. And we also have Bluebeam. It is also a collaboration platform, but it is for more of 2D based collaboration, which is in PDF format. Okay, so with this, we are going to create a workflow, and then this workflow I'm going to explain one by one. Okay, so first we are going to see Archicad and BIM Cloud. So let's talk about the traditional approach of producing the BIM model. So normally what people do is we produce the architectural model on the BIM authoring tool, and then after a certain point, we share it with the other project disciplines like the MEP and structural, and then they use this as a reference model, the architectural model, and then come out with their own models. Okay, and after a certain point, these models are federated, and then we find out the issues between these models. Okay, so that is what the traditional workflow is. So the problem with this workflow is people work in silos. Okay, so when they work in silos, the changes that are done in the other model is not reflected, or it's updated only during the coordination meetings, which doesn't happen quite often, right? Like it takes at least 1 week time to do the coordination. Okay, so but we have another approach called one integrated model approach using Archicad, BIM Cloud, and also BIMX for some collaboration. So in this, what we suggest to do is to have architectural and structural discipline work on the same file, and then this architectural and structural file could be shared among the MEP team to link it in real time. Okay, so you link the real time model so that whatever changes that the structural and architectural team does, you will get the real time updates of it, and then you will also be able to produce the documentation files from this live model so that any changes done on the other model will get updated on the documentation as well. Okay, so I'm going to explain this workflow in detail with the statistical data of how much productivity you could achieve, and this workflow has been adopted by Sabana Jurong from 2018. So they have been doing this workflow for all three disciplines in Singapore office. Okay, and you can also use BIMX for some external collaboration for discussion with external parties who are actually not using Archicad. Okay, so here are some of the useful features of this workflow. So it helps real-time coordination, and you can send across message to people working on your teamwork project, something like WhatsApp within Archicad itself. So you can select the view that you want to send, or you can even select the elements, and then you can send the messages across to the team members working on teamwork. Okay, and coming to the architectural and structural workflow, you could have seen I am told that both of them will be working on the same file, meaning this architectural file which gets started by the architectural team, they will just create the model, and after a point structural members join the same file, and then they will just hide the finishes and then the furnishing elements, windows, doors, and so on, so that they will just get the skeleton of their architectural model, which becomes the 80% of the structural model already. So if any changes, say for example, if the doors are moved or if the size of the doors are changed, so the structural model also gets updated. The opening size will be changed as well. So you need not replicate the same change inside the structural model again. So the same structural and architectural model will work on the same file. So by this, what we have is up to 80% of the structural model is already done by the structural team. So you just have to add features like the piles, roofs, and so on. Okay. And then the documentation for all the disciplines are live, as I told earlier. So it's a single source of truth. So whatever changes that you do in any of the models, documentations in other disciplines as well get updated. And then as she was mentioning in this previous presentation earlier, so BIM Cloud allows you to work from anywhere. So you can have team members joining from anywhere around the world on the teamwork project and collaborate to work together. So this opens up the opportunity of working with the architects from the other countries as well. And for the coordination, so if there are any issues within the model, the modelers will be able to spot it in real time, and then they can send the message across to the team members who are responsible for resolving those issues. So there is no coordination separately need to be done. It can be done while we do the modeling by the modelers itself. So there is no coordinator required in this workflow. So having seen the advantages of this workflow, I'm going to show the timeline that is required for this traditional workflow. So as I mentioned earlier, the architectural team will start the modeling, and after a point, the CNS team, the civil and structural team will get that file and then start their modeling. And after another set of time, the MEP engineering team will join, and then they will create the modeling. So during this tender stage, there will be coordination happening all the way across, and then they will generate this federated model until the issues are resolved. Okay, but with this new one integrated model approach, so architectural and structural team will work on the same model right from the beginning, and then there will be coordination happening parallelly along with the modeling by the modelers. And then after a point, the file can be linked to the MEP model, so that the MEP engineering team will create or develop their model, and then their coordination will also happen parallelly while they do the modeling. So there is no separate coordination happening, and also the resource for the coordinator is also exempted in this workflow. Okay, so this saves almost 2 months of time for a multi-story building project for Sabana Jurong. So this is actually the result of a case study that we did together with Sabana Jurong. And we also have team build construction, which is also using Archicad. So the earlier Sabana Jurong was a design consultant, and team build is actually a construction company. So they have also adopted the same workflow during the construction stage of their project. So they have Archicad for architectural, structural, and MEP, but they are producing drawings for the construction stage. Okay, so if you scan the QR code, you will be able to reach to the published case study of this workflow that team build is using. So I'll pass for a few seconds. All right. So here is a glimpse of what they have modeled with one of their projects in Archicad. You can see all three disciplines here. So you can see architectural. Once the finishes are stripped off, it becomes a structural model. And you can also see this MEP lines here. So there are manholes, inspection chambers, civil works, everything being done within the same Archicad file, and they are able to produce documentation at the construction level detail within Archicad. And they are using the same approach where architectural and structural team work on the same file, and then this file is linked to the MEP project, and then the MEP model is created. So they are able to publish their work in Enscape as a virtual mockup. So back in days, so if they do HDB projects in Singapore, they have to create a real mockup so that it will be displayed in HDB office, so buyers can come in and view the mockup and then buy it. But now what they are doing is they have moved digitally. So they have exported the Archicad project into Enscape, and then they are able to view it within their mobile phone. So here I have created this, I'm showing this QR code. So if you scan it, you will be able to go inside the model and then check the details of information that they have put in inside the models there. Okay, so I'll also pass here for a few seconds. So if you are not scanning, I'll also show the video of what it will be in the next slide. All right, so once you scan this QR code, it will ask you to allow access to the gyroscope. If your mobile phone has gyroscope, the motion sensor, you'll be able to allow it, and then you can go inside the model. So you can see the detail of information that they have put in inside the model. So they have done the markups, the markings of dimensions in 3D itself, and they have also modeled all the MEP tools to the greatest detail. So you can see even the furnishing, lighting, everything is there. And if you closely watch this tiles here, they have even drawn or created the 1 mm groove between the tiles there. So that is how detailed they have made the drawings and then the model. So Archicad is able to support all these workflows natively. All right, having seen the one integrated model approach, let us take a look at the data-driven design. So for data-driven design, we are using DROFUS, and then we are also using BIMX. So I'll show how BIMX helps in accessing the information from DROFUS. So for people who are new to DROFUS, so probably I'll just give a short explanation of what it is. So DROFUS is a data management tool, meaning where it is kind of a database where you can plan all the design requirements. So if you're meeting the client for your first time, right, you can add all the specifications that they give into this digital tool, which helps you to do the design. So this is kind of a planning tool where you have all the design details and specifications and requirements captured within this environment, and this has a direct connection with Archicad. Okay, so you will be able to use this information inside Archicad to complete your design. Okay, so anytime you'll be able to create your room data sheet. So if there is any room, say for example for this stadium, right, we can plan how many projectors you want to place, how many chairs you want to put in, how many doors you want to have, what are the size of the doors, if it is a projector, who is the supplier, what's the price of it, the specifications, PDF, everything could be uploaded into this platform, and then this could be used during the design for you to plan and then decide accordingly. Okay, and you can produce reports out of it anytime, which has the cost data, who is responsible, and how far the construction has gone. Everything could be managed from this platform together with the BIM authoring tool, which is Archicad for today. Okay, so as you see here, you can have the room information, the area that is required for this room, and the list of items that you want to put in, as I told earlier. So this DROFUS tool is very much useful for projects like healthcare. So if it is an ICU room, you have a set of equipments that you would like to have across all the projects, right? So all that could be captured within this platform, and it can be used to design or plan according to that in the BIM authoring tool. Okay. And it can also be used for institutional projects, hotels, and so on. So here is a video showing how it is. So on the left side, you can see we can create templates. So let me play this video. So first, you can create templates of each room that you would design in your projects. So say for example, we have this office 50 square meter, office 25 square meter. So you can create all these templates. So say for example, for this auditorium, in this case, you can have a template of it as well. And inside there, you can put all the details. So you can even put the link of BIMX files. You can put documents, you can put the equipments that you want to place inside, the quantities of those equipments, what are the budget price, who is responsible for that. Everything can be captured inside with a user interface. So the doors and windows, services, packages, structural elements, finishes, everything could be captured within as a template. So once this template has been created, you can use this room across multiple projects. So that's why I say this is more useful for repetitive projects like healthcare and so on. And after that, you can have a database of all the equipments, furnitures, doors, and other structural elements as well. So if you see here for this flat screen TV, you can capture the price, who is responsible for this, and then you can add images of those from the BIM model or the real images, or you can even add the PDF of the manual of that particular TV. Okay, so for this you can create a database of all the equipments, doors and finishes, structural elements that you would be using on your project, so that it can be used across multiple projects. So here is the example of office partition. So similarly, you could create for services as well. So you could create a database of all the services that you would use on the projects, and you could also have the documents as a database. So you could upload all the documents that is related to your design within this. And here is where you design your project. Say for example, here I'm showing two projects. One is stack tower, the other one is the structural model project, and I have designed only one level for the demo purpose. So you can see there is lift lobby, office 25 square meter, and then office 50 square meter, and inside that you can plan all this equipments and devices that you want to place. So the details of all that is already captured. So this is kind of a database of what you're going to design with a user interface. So as you select any element, you can see you can add custom data as well. Say for example, here I have added the progress monitoring data like fabrication status, and then also QA/QC inspection. So this kind of custom properties as a placeholders can be created in DIROFIS, so that as the project is ongoing, you would be able to capture the information and then use it for decision making. Okay, and then you can produce reports anytime. So there are multiple default report templates that are already available from DIROFIS, but if you want to customize it and create it in your company template, you could do that as well. So it produces a nice PDF with all the reports that you would want to generate from DIROFIS anytime. Okay, so having seen that, so this looks something like a very nice database with some UI to produce reports. So you could always think that you can do it with an Excel actually. So you could put all the information on an Excel, you could generate report from it. That is quite easy to do. But the synergy of this tool happens only when you are using it with a BIM authoring tool. So that is what I'm going to show next. So we have a direct connection plugin available with Archicad. So you just have to log into your DIROFIS within Archicad. So once you log in and then sync your project with DIROFIS, all the elements will be able to recognize its counterpart from the DIROFIS. So whatever you have planned there, say for example, if this auditorium, right, so the podium, stage, screens, everything that you have modeled inside the authoring tool will get synced with the DIROFIS information there. Okay, so once you select that particular element in Archicad, you will be able to see the item's occurrence in this panel, and you'll be able to access the information of it as well. Okay, so of course I've done some background work, say for example by creating a template of what I have already have inside DIROFIS. So once it's a one-time process actually. So once you have created the template, then once you sync the project, everything will get recognized automatically, and then you can just add information of it. And say for example, if you are designing a room, right, and you have planned for all these equipments, and it will always recognize what are all the designed in that. Design meaning what you have placed inside the model. And if there are discrepancies, say for example, this office cabinet I have planned to, but I have not placed it inside my design. So when I click, so what this add-on helps is, so when I click update Archicad, right, so it will just recognize the element and then it will place it inside this room. So you can see it already become 2 there. So, but of course it will place randomly inside the room somewhere. You just have to move it and put it nicely in the right location. Okay, so here you can see it is put at the center of this room, and then you just have to move it and then place it onto the sides. So this helps to plan and design accordingly. So what exactly need to be planned inside this room, what could be the size of this room, everything could be planned and you can design accordingly. So similarly, I have example of this structural element, which is the wall. You can see you have this progress monitoring data. You can just anytime capture this data if the project is ongoing. Okay. So this is how the authoring tool could work together with the DIROFIS data management tool, so that you can nicely plan and design your project and then produce reports so that you could do decision making on a right time with all this data. So having seen that, I wanted to push this integration to BIMX level, meaning I wanted to access the DIROFIS information on BIMX. So what I did is I developed some Python script. So there is no default or off-the-shelf connection available for BIMX with DIROFIS. So what we did is we developed a very simple Python script, of course, which can be used across across all the projects. So you need not write Python script every time. So with that script, we developed a extension in BIMX. So let me just play this video. You just have to load the extension first. So once the extension has been loaded, you will be able to access the deed office information, just similar to what we did in Archicad, from BIMX element. Okay, so I'm just opening a 3D view here, and then if once after you load in that extension, so you can just select the element and then go to the element pop-up menu, and then from there you have this new menu called open occurrence in deed office. So once you click that, you will be able to access all the information of that particular equipment from the deed office here. So why this integration is needed? So for people who are working in construction sites, they can just have their mobile device or an iPad, so that they can access both the model data that is coming from Archicad and also this planning data that comes from deed office together in one place. So this gives a 3D context to the 2D data. So imagine if you just have to have a 2D data, you just have to go by row and then you have to find out. But from the 3D environment, it is always easy to access the information. Okay, so here in this example, I'm showing a TV where we have the manual of that TV that you can access from the BIMX itself within the deed office platform. Okay, so this integration is very helpful when you are accessing the information on the go from BIMX. The BIMX to work for us even more better, okay, using this extension BIMX API technology. So here what I'm doing is, since if it is an ongoing project, I can always do the status updating, right? So just now I was showing the date of the elements and then the work status, so all that could be captured, and then we can visualize it in 3D by color coding. So how to do that? So as I said earlier, this is also another extension that we have created. It is not off the shelf, but it is very simple to create. Okay, so you can see this extension has created 3 options. So you could check the fabrication status of the element, and once you click that, it reads the information from deed office and then it color codes the elements accordingly based on the status of the element. Okay, so you can see here the form work. There is one element that has completed the form work. Of course, this is the test data, not the real data. The other elements have not started. So similarly, if I'm going to update the status, I can update the status from BIMX itself. So you can see I just selected a circular pile there, and then I went inside the deed office environment where I can update the status of the element in real time. Say, that's why I say if you want to work from site, right, you don't have access to Archicad, you can just update the status from the construction site using this form. And this can also be used to do the QA/QC checks. Okay, say for example, last time you would be doing it on a paper. You have a set of checklists that you would fill in, and then you do the submission by taking a picture and then sending it as an email. But with this deed office link with BIMX, you just open the form and then you do that and then you just click submit, so that everyone on the ecosystem will get updated from here. So you can access this information from Archicad also, and also on deed office web, and so on and so forth. So similarly, I'm here showing the statuses of different work status, delivery status, and so on and so forth. So everything you will be able to access it. So this could act as a dashboard for you for the project to see visually on 3D and also in 2D. So that is how the BIMX API would help you to push further to help you access the information. That is why earlier during my the first slide on my presentation, I was telling BIMX is a data access tool rather than it being a visualization tool. Okay, so I will also show another example of BIMX extension here, where we could perform hot desking seat reservation within the BIMX environment. So you can see we just click the check hot desking availability, and then you just key in the start time and end time of your reservation for the seats available on the model, and it gives the status of each seats that we have. So the first one that shows red in color is reserved, the rest all are free. Okay, so you will be able to select the seats and then click reserve seat. So this will automatically get the time that you have used for checking, and then for security reasons you just have to log in and then you have to click submit, so that the seat will be reserved. So if anybody else check on the same time slot for the availability, it will show red in color showing that the seat is reserved. So BIMX is not just a visualization tool, it can also be pushed further to use it as a digital twin by capturing the information from different databases or from different IoT devices, and you can visualize it here. All right, let's move on to the next workflow, which is Solibri Office with Archicad connection as a model checker tool. Okay, so some of you might have already heard what Solibri is, but for people who are new to it, I'll just do a basic explanation of it. Solibri is so the analogy of Solibri is something like a spelling or grammar checker for word processing documents. Okay, so it will be able to check your BIM model for different requirements and then find out those issues, and then it will give you the visual results of it so that you could resolve it on your BIM authoring tools. So here in this case, you can see the walls are moved, but the zone is not updated. So that's why it is very difficult for human to navigate inside the model to find this kind of issues. But with Solibri, you can resolve these issues within just few minutes. So there is a famous saying which says use a mouse instead of a jackhammer. So just use Solibri on the design stage to find out all the design issues so that you are not resolving those issues during the construction stage using the hammer. So here are some of the examples of issues that you could identify from Solibri. Of course, these are not exhaustive. There are other issues that you can identify as well, but I'm just showing a very small set of examples that you can identify. So this example is actually the component overlapping or duplicate components. So if they are from the same discipline and there are components overlapping, it will be able to highlight within just few minutes. And then the space modeling, this is the same example that I showed earlier on the first slide of Solibri introduction. If the walls are updated and if the zones are not updated, it will just visually show you the results. And then the space schedule. So if you are creating a space programming rule where you have a target area for each of the rooms that you want to design, and then with a tolerance, it will identify if the requirement is not met. Say for example, if you're going beyond this tolerance area, it will just highlight for you as an issue. And then this is also another classic example of why Solibri makes it very easy for model checking. So here is the accessibility check, which checks for wheelchair turning circle. So you can see the red circle is the requirement, but the green one is the available in your model. So if it is not meeting the requirements within the elevator or within even the toilets, it will be able to easily highlight for you. And then you can also find the discrepancy checks between the structural and architectural models. Say for example, if the doors size and then the openings of structural models are not the same, then it will highlight to you as an issue. Okay, so this is very difficult or very critical issue that you need to resolve during the design stage. And then the integrity between structural and MEP. So if you want to maintain a certain distance between the structural element and then the MEP tools or the MEP elements, it will help you to find out whether the elements are away from the structural elements. And then the next is the clearance checks. So you can see the door swing of this particular door on the is hitting the water closet. So it's actually an issue that is identified by Solibri itself. So as I said, there are multiple other issues that you can resolve. Say for example, the fire access exit, all that could be checked with Solibri and you can find the results. And the good thing is it gives the issues visually, so you will be able to visually see what exactly is going on. So in this case, you can see it isolates all the other elements. It removes all the other elements from the view and then it just isolates this element for you, and it also creates this visualization. Okay, so this helps you to resolve the issues. So if you are a coordinator, you can just click a screenshot of this and then send to the modelers. They will be able to easily resolve this. So let me explain the workflow of Solibri model checker. So if you have an architectural model, you can export an IFC from it. So Solibri is an IFC based tool. So you can bring in IFC from any authoring tool and you can load it inside Solibri and it becomes a Solibri model. And inside that model, you can perform all this automated analysis processes. So like you can perform visual checks, you can check for integrity and quality between the disciplines, you can run space programs, you can check for building codes or local codal requirements, you can do best practices checks, and you can also do a reliable quantity takeoff. And of course, if you have all the other disciplines, which you can export as an IFC file and federate them all together within the Solibri model, you can run the check for all three disciplines as well all together. And you can find out all this potential design issues within Solibri, and you can export all of them as a BIM BCF format, which is BIM collaboration format, again an open BIM format, and it can be communicated back to the authors, BIM model authors, to resolve those issues. And you can produce a reliable quantity takeoff report as well from Solibri. Alright, so I'm here showing the example of Archicad Solibri direct connection. So you could start Solibri directly from Archicad, run the check and get the results back. So that is what we are going to see on this video. So you could start Solibri from Archicad itself, and while Solibri is starting, you can set the export setting. So as I was mentioning earlier, so it is actually an IFC based check, right? So you could choose the IFC translator that you want to export the IFC file from Archicad, and then on the background it will just export the IFC file, and then it will open it inside Solibri for you. Okay, so once it is exported, it will load the model inside Solibri. So you can see it is already loaded inside Solibri, and you can perform visual checks now. So you can select the element, you can check for the information that you have created inside Archicad to see whether it has exported correctly into the IFC file or not. So all these visual checks could be done. If not, you can create issues manually as well. But the best part of Solibri is the automated checks. So for the automated checks, you have multiple roles here. So you can create your own role, meaning like if you are an MEP engineer and you want to check only MEP related checks, then you can create an MEP role. For now, I'm choosing the architectural rule here. So these are all the predefined rule sets that are already available, and you can define your own rule sets for your company template or your company checks and so on and so forth. So once you load, you just have to click check model, and then you can see it immediately checks and gives you the results here. So if it is okay, it means that there's no issue with that particular check. Okay, and you can also see the severity of the results based on the color, red being the most severe and yellow being the low severe. Okay, so now let us see the results of some of the checks that it has done. So you can see clearance in front of doors I'm doing. So the furniture is too close to the door component. So you can see this door is isolated and also the furniture is isolated, and it gives the visualization of how far the requirement is, 1.1 meter, and you can see within 823 meter there is an equipment there, or there is a furniture there. So it gives you the result, but this is actually a sliding door. Okay, so I don't need to have this clearance in front. So I just mark it as okay here, which means that this issue is not going to affect my design. And let's check one more example. Check for obstruction on size of the component. So Solibri also has an API feature, meaning you can develop your own rule from scratch using this API. So if Solibri has a set of predefined templates that are available to check for different things, if in case it is not available, you could develop your own rule. So this is one such rule that we developed from scratch for Land Transport Authority, Singapore. So you can see here it is checking for obstruction all around this object, and then if there is any obstruction nearby, it will give you the results there. And you can see I can just create the issue right away from there by just right clicking and add slide, and it adds all the information of this issue automatically, including the screenshot, the elements involved in this issue. Everything has been automatically added to the issue by Solibri itself. So I'm not doing anything. I just run the check and then created the issue. It automatically adds all the information of this issue. So if you want to add more screenshots or add comments or add all this information like priority, stage, who is responsible to fix this issue, so all that could be added in this issue. So here I'm trying to add a comment for the modelers to resolve this issue. So I'm here writing, please move the printer aside. And you can see the location, which is the level 9, is also automatically captured. I'm not keying in that. So now you can go back to Archicad and import the selected issues from Solibri, and then just opens the issue organizer inside Archicad and loads the issue there. As you just open the issue there, you can see the view of that particular issue is there already, the screenshot, and it also selects the elements that are involved in this issue, and you can also see the comments that I have added inside Solibri. Okay, so if I'm a coordinator, I can just push the issue inside Archicad. So the modelers will be able to log in inside their teamwork file and then check out the reason for this issue and then resolve it. And the best part, you can see just now I was just double clicking this view. It just isolated the elements for me, just similar to what we had in Solibri. Okay, so if it is a full model, if you have to navigate and find out this element yourself, it's very difficult, right? So you just double click the view, it automatically isolates the other elements and then gives you these two elements to resolve this issue. So it is that easy it is. And then you can also bring selection from Solibri if you want. So you can select a few elements there and then just get the selection basket so that the selection of Solibri will get highlighted here in Archicad for you. So having seen that, let's move on to the next workflow, which is the collaboration with Bluebeam. So with Archicad 29, we have a new plugin that will be able to publish your Archicad drawings into Bluebeam Studio, and then you can do markups there, and then you can bring that as an issue back inside Archicad. Let's see how it is done. So go to File, Interoperability, Bluebeam connection. Just open the connection and then log in there, and you can create a new connection or use the previous connection that is already available with Bluebeam Studio. So here I'm creating a new session by keying in the name of the project, and then I'm going to publish the drawings from here directly. So I need not manually publish and then upload into the Bluebeam Studio. Instead, I can do it directly from here. So when I click publish to Studio, you can see all the drawings get automatically updated, and after it get updated, it will be exported as well. And then it will be automatically imported into Bluebeam Studio. So once it is uploaded, the concerned person who is responsible for checking those drawings will be able to log in inside Bluebeam Studio, and then they'll be able to access all these drawings there. And if they find any discrepancies or issues, they'll be able to mark up there. So earlier we did with Solibri the 3D BIM based collaboration, and this is 2D based collaboration. So you can just open the drawings on the Bluebeam Studio on the web browser, and then with all these markup tools, you can create call outs, or you can create labels and so on and so forth, which you can import inside Archicad as an issue. Okay, so here I'm creating a cloud there. So going back inside Archicad, once the markup has been done, you can see you can import the issues from the Bluebeam Studio from the respective drawings that they have created the issue. So just select the drawing and click import. You will be able to import all the issues from there, and this will nicely identify which layout this issue is in within Archicad, and it will place the information there on that layout. So you can see it identifies this layout and it places the issues inside the layout there. So the modelers will be able to understand the issue and then they'll be able to resolve. So this is 2D based collaboration. So for people who are still using 2D, you can use this workflow to do the collaboration with them. Okay, so before I can conclude this session, I would like to tell that this is not just exhaustive workflows that we have. We can use multiple other tools to create such digital workflows. And of course, if in case you want to use these workflows on your projects, please feel free to reach out to us. We are happy to help as well. And before I pass it back to Swapna, and you can see we have an Apple Vision Pro here. Later during the networking section, you can just have a look at it, enjoy the virtual reality of your BIM models within this Apple Vision Pro in BIMX. All right, thank you.
Thanks, Vimal, for that very detailed presentation and explaining it so well. And as Vimal said, we also have that, visual, virtually experiencing these software, and also all our Nemetschek experts are going to be there during the networking session. So if you have any questions, they are there to clarify on that. Now that we have seen the power of technology, let's hear from the creators themselves, those who have used Archicad to how they have turned their design vision into built reality. So please join me in welcoming architect Ajay Tompe, principal architect beyond design architects and consultants. He is known for blending artistic integrity with business sense and has led some of India's most forward thinking design projects. He will walk us through real world Archicad workflows and how BIM has directly impacted speed, accuracy, and bottom line gains in his studio. So, architect Tonpe, I welcome you on the stage. Let's give a big round of applause to architect Tonpe for him sharing his experiences with this software.
Thank you. Connection. PPT. No. You want this? ये उधर लगाओगे अच्छा उससे करो नमस्कार as usual technology never works smoothly so till these guys are setting up amazing things I came across. This is another wish list. What we saw, Deer Office is one of the best thing, which I'm continuously talking to Nemetschek Group, Shivang. You know, this is the thing which in India we definitely need when we are doing a lot of healthcare projects. We are booming. Education institute is really, really stepping up, and data management is really important. Why it's squeezed? Looks like it's a squeezed presentation. It's not the right format. My building proportion has gone on toss. My designing director will kill me. Yeah, that's much better. I'm okay with this. Yeah, I think this is okay. So about us, uh, it's been 16 years for us in this industry. We are working in various fields, architecture, workplace interiors, healthcare, education, specialized projects like labs. And out of those 16 years, our journey with Graphisoft Archicad has been for last 8 years. Why we went ahead with this? Basically, we all always had a vision. You know, we used to hate sending prints on site. You call it us lazy, or whether we will always call we wanted to be environment friendly. So always we wanted to have our own practice, which is paperless. And paperless in terms of design, definitely in the studio itself. At the site, it's a criminal waste on site getting these lot of prints, revision issues. We all are aware of this. And obviously, this entire data goes as a big, thick files as a facility management. That's again a waste because whenever I go back to my, generally we have many repeat projects, and if I ask my facility guy, hey, can I have that particular data, he will come back with the file with missing data in that. So finally we thought, no, this is not the right way. We should have uh, something which will help us at a integrated model. We used to always work earlier in earlier era with those SketchUp model or 3D Max model, but those used to be a dumb data. So then we all thought, sitting together, if we have this particular 3D data, 3D model with the data, why not? Then that's where the idea of let's follow a BIM process. And right now, this particular BIM process has been 8 years. We are implementing in our different verticals. A strong vertical of us is workplace interiors, which we do. It has its own set of requirements and challenges. In workplace interiors, it's a speed of planning is really high in requirement. Then presentations. We need overnight presentations. If we are pitching or somebody's visiting, suddenly client will call over the night, hey, tomorrow my CEO is coming and can you do this presentation so our approval is in place? And then, you know, 20 people are working in the presentations and everything. Then we realized that's not the right way. Uh, and then most important is whatever we design in as our concept, we observe a bad execution in terms of services and coordination. You know, it creates it makes us upset when we visit sites, and that is another part we learned. And we are very serious about our services. And Graphisoft Archicad is really helping us because the way BIM process is helping, my designers don't feel they're working on an engineering tool, because we all know we love to work on a perspective. We draw sketches with 1.2, 1 point perspective, and all those things. So definitely anything which is in 3D, we would love to have a perspective. We love to have monochromatic feel. We don't like colors to come in first. We love lines. Don't then those lines get to convert into a form, and then you add the textures. This is so boring. I need that. So in workplace interior, we all know it's a visualization is most important thing for pitches or designing. So using a BIM tool, because we want a single model, we don't want to work on separately on 3D Max or a SketchUp and then doing the documentation of separately. So with the help of Archicad, you can do any design. Now these all are interior projects, and everything is created inside the Archicad, and the visualization is done. We use Inkscape as our tool, so entire visualization is done inside the Inkscape. Certain designers directly use Archicad and do their designing. Some designers of us use Archicad and they open the separate window of SketchUp and they do their they get the real-time feedback of the textures as well. So these are the kind of outputs what we are doing. We always call ourselves, we are not the 3D or visualization company, we are architects. And we think these visualizations are good enough for us to explain to our clients. Obviously, these visualizations are not just images, they are virtual reality tools we use. We take these models to client for their explanation, those processes are implemented. We talked about collaboration. So this is important tool what we use is BIMX. My designers, my design directors, they use iPad. Any design gets created, it is always with them on the iPad. So on the move, they keep checking their design with the help of 3D model. So in our office, nobody checks the drawings. It's more of a checking the design. So if the design is first, output of documentation is, just a byproduct. So communication within the model itself happens. Then I think sometime back somebody tells, as an architect, we love to keep doing the options, iterations of designs. And to do that, again, we do final by this guy and those things. And then uh, in our server, we have so many files and we don't remember. So here now with the graphics, Archicad's, this design option tool definitely helps us to create the options. Not only definitely visual is very important because whenever we visit the client, we have to give certain options to client, or we have to debate with certain colors, textures, whatever. So within the virtual reality tool, these options are ready. We finalize one of the option and start working on that particular option right away for the costing documentation part. So definitely design options. Now this is going to be, you need to click there. So these are the design options which you can create at the planning stage also. And because we are used to working on a 3D platform, though it is in a plan, the spaces we can start feeling at the day one at the plan level also. Yeah, next. So virtual reality as a tool definitely is uh, is an integral part of our workflow. Each and every project, almost this 3D model view we use at two stages. One at our within the office. So all our offices have this particular tool so that people can walk through the design, give the comments, and improve the design. And also we do the production file of this, take it to client, and it helps us for quicker approval. Next. This is another interesting use of uh, BIM software. In Archicad, when we connect to Enscape and we do a lot of lighting, any projects we have to work on a lighting, and they have one tool which is this kind of rendering output it gives. With the help of IES data it has, so it helps me to understand which area has a darker spots or a uniformly lighting is given or not. So this particular tool we use. Obviously, sunpath studies definitely helps because in interiors, how much space we have to keep it from the glazing side, those things can be decided with the help of these studies. Next. everybody talked about, design capability, but finally, all is most important part of in our field is costing. What is the project cost? So schedulings are very important. The quantity takeoffs. So Archicad has a really, really powerful schedule methodology where quantities are coming very precise. We are using built-in tools, what Archicad has, and also along with that, it has its own challenges, the speed limitations of that particular tool. We have developed our own API, and we are using that particular API to do the quantity takeoff, check off the models. Can you go on the next page? Yeah, so this is the tool which we have developed where our quantities are pushed on the cloud. We have an online BOQ tool. By BOQ tool, here we complete our model and bill of quantities are getting generated online. So my BOQ team working on the specification part, quantities are getting pushed on the cloud and getting plugged into the model. Selection tool is much faster now. Checking of the model is very faster. Another thing, any BIM software, everybody who are using Revit or Archicad, they say file becomes slow because we get so much of excited looking at everything can be seen in 3D. We try to push each and every element into the model. So it has its own challenges. So we have our internal team who works on a quality control of models. We have created our own library of workstations because certain software will have limitation in terms of their libraries. So we have developed our own libraries. So during the design collaboration, we never find any limitation of the products coming in. Next. So these are the challenges we see. Whoever you are using BIM platform, always look at the polygon count. This is just a suggestion. Last 8 years, we have gone through this phase. Our model used to get crashed. Now we have well-experienced team. We have a privilege. One of our member who is coming from animation background, who knows what is low poly modeling. These are the bit different words for us also. But these guys can create these kind of models where my products are still seen equally good, but the polygon count is way lesser. Like example to give, there is a one seal case chair, which generally we'll love to use in our project. And that particular polygon count is 35,000 if I would directly pick from their website as a Revit family. And we have a family of 3,000 polygons, same chair. Next. So we have now library around 3,000 objects, 3 to 4,000 objects with us. So that now there is no limitation when we are designing. So this is in interiors last 8 years, now our speed is at the top level. Same thing now when we are doing in architectural projects. Definitely what we need is a single source of model with the documentation, because in architectural level, documentation is required from the day one itself. In interiors, is more of a first stages look and feel presentation concept. Here at the concept stage, only area statements, municipal approval processes, we keep needing documents. That is helping us a lot. Then obviously, because we are into architecture, so facade elevations, client expect different options in the facades. So parametric designing ability of the Archicad is much better. Can we go next? Please. So simple, when we do a 2D work, a basic massing, then certain master plans to create. This is the project. Suddenly, a client said within the 2 hours we need your presentation. We want to have a approval from our MD. So our team quickly created this. Different renderings are possible. Here again, we can create a lot of options. These blocks have data in terms of area statements. Next. Lot of facade option of one building is possible within the one design option. This is really, design option is really helping us recently. Otherwise, imagine every time I have to create 3 different files, it would have been pain for us. Next. So currently team is more focusing on design and less on documentation. So our documentation team has become very lean. Everybody is more focusing on design, and there is a process template has been in place so that documentation is automated. Next. Like section detailing is a piece of cake. Everybody has to, now team is getting used to how details are important. So they are going into the designing and doing all smallest details at the day one itself. Then it's a matter how much data I want to show at the day one, day two. Next. Some people work directly only on Archicad. Some team members love to work using the rendering tool next to them. So we have a 2-screen setup, 27 inches. So some people work in this particular setup. Next. Sunpath study in architecture is most important. So this helps because we do architecture and interior of the same spaces. So when we design, we know what is this data go to interior team also. So they start placing their interior things based on the Sunpath. We are also into specialized project of labs, where again, lot of data is required, lot of equipment we have to handle in lab projects. So here again at the right from the planning, here the most important requirement is the modularity. Sometime back when healthcare topic was coming up, because there is a repetitive elements, then data alignment is possible. But in the labs, again modularity is there, but within the labs, every department has too many requirements coming up, and smallest PowerPoint requirement to how the equipment has to place. So first get that data. We earlier phase, we used to work on a Excel sheets, put entire data on a Excel, and then start mapping it into the drawing board. Now the new process, dear of us, we are trying to work with them, but right now we have developed our own thing. We create zones. So zones are in place. We start attaching all the data to those zones. And then those zones, when we do the zone, we extract the schedule out of it. So this is one of the lab facility which we are creating recently. It's an ongoing project. So this is the room data sheet which we have created. We attached to the zones and it created the schedule. And this schedule, we are using this schedule for our checking. Now this is getting used by our design team, my site team, my consultants. Everybody is using one sheet. Any changes happens, it gets changed over here. We have our own CD platform. Right now, we are doing our collaboration using Trimble Connect. An entire consultant team and everybody, we connect on that platform, and this data gets updated over there. They follow this. Next. Obviously, visualization is also important part over here. Again, not only here, our whoever works on these projects from client side, somehow they do not understand much in the plan. So here again, virtual reality with the real time placing the equipments, they can take a faster decisions. Certain these kind of details we actually work on the inside the Archicad. Like there is a requirement of drywall partition construction with plumbing coming over there. So these particular equipments, these particular elements, we have to fix it. Now, as an architect, in a drawing, we can show. Now, with the help of 3D, my contractor can easily understand this and he can do the better job. Next. This is one of the 5 lakh square feet project we had done where entire MEP and architecture architecture is done in Archicad. And MEP we had done in a AX3000. It's a CAD-based MEP tool. But again, we follow OpenBIM platform, so IFC is our core. So we never find any problem integrating anything in it. So in last 8 years, if I want to map things, definitely my rework has been reduced considerably. And I can really vouch because I'm proud of my design directors. They are good at their design. They never change their design. So that means rework happens because of, information loss. Now that rework has been reduced. It's a approval process from the client is much faster, is way faster. And obviously RFI, I don't visit my sites. I visit only once, that's it. So obviously I have a more time to design or, think something different. So these are the really, really important takeaways for me after using Archicad for last 8 years. My entire team is happy here. My team is sitting, who is actually my tech team. To tell you, to learn a BIM, it's all you need to know what is architecture. It's a simple, the way in real life, what we construct is we are constructing inside the BIM process. Here I have one of my colleague who joined us as a 3D visualizer, but he was hands-on with the interior part and last 8 years with me, and he's my kind of a backbone of my system, and he knows each and everything. He implemented the open BIM process because in our office, we are very clear, we are not going to be slave of a particular software. We will be using open BIM platforms. Today, I'm using Archicad proudly. Tomorrow, I may get another software, but we should be ready to use any software which will help me to speed up my work and give me better design. Thank you, guys.
Thank you, Architect Tompe, for those very impactful case studies and for that light-hearted moment also in the beginning. What Architect Tompe just demonstrated is that how technology and creativity, when combined, can deliver some truly exceptional results. Now let's move on to a very special segment where we bring on stage our keynote speaker of the day. He is a stalwart of the design and development segment. So let me please welcome Swamiman Das, Senior Director, Space Metrics India and UAE, and he'll be telling us about architect's mind in a multi-dimensional world. So a brief introduction of our keynote speaker. Mr. Das is a seasoned architect and design professional with over 16 years of experience, and he's a specialist in industrial design. Apart from creating immensely versatile and innovative contextual design, Swamiman is adept at inducing fun, adventure, and social quotient in humanized workspaces. Yes, we want humanized workspaces for sure. Swamiman believes in trying new design recipes and unleashing the emotional aspects while consciously designing impactful and contextual environments. So here we have architect Swami Mandas. Let's give him a big round of applause as he tells us what's going on in the architects' minds. Thank you so much.
Thank you, Sapna. Okay, it's up. Okay. Firstly, a very good evening to each one of you here. And you guys have been looking into a lot of interesting 3D illustrations, animations, and a lot of exciting interactive stuff all till now. Whereas I have got a very simple presentation, and it's just more of a conversation with you. I don't have anything fancy to show here. So it will be really difficult for me to probably grab your attention, but I request just for 10 minutes, just have a conversation. I have picked up a very interesting topic today, which is basically I'll be talking about layers. So all of you guys being in the industry, designers, architects, engineers, all here, I'm sure you guys have been discussing Archicad, different platforms, how obviously you guys would be understanding what layers mean in reality. Layers, to be honest, they are really, really omnipresent. They are actually everywhere. I would say they are ubiquitous. They are inevitable. I mean, it's really, really difficult to not see them anywhere. They are actually everywhere, but most of the time, they are invisible also. So let me take a very simple example of the building itself. Of course, you guys are from the industry, you'll understand. If I just try to slice through the building, I don't know how many umpteen levels and number of layers we'll get to see. Um, I mean, talking about what's above the ceiling, if I cut through a section, there would be zillion number of layers, which will be services, ancillary stuff. There would be MEP, all of it in different layers and levels. If I cut through the floor level here itself, below the floor, I mean, there would be, I don't know how many layers of structural elements. I mean, if I talk about the costumes all of you are wearing has different layers. I'm not just joking or, but seriously, like while coming to Mumbai today at airport, not just funny, but I just bought some burger and a piece of cheesecake. And believe you me, I mean, it also had layers, right? So layers are just omnipresent everywhere. I mean, you cut through a section of the planet itself to the core, you go below the sea level, you go beyond at different stratas of atmosphere and universe. I mean, they have various layers, right? So all in all, I would say layers are omnipresent. What you're thinking right now, I would say, your thought process, your thought has got varied layers right now that I can see. Even the ideas that I'm projecting will have various layers. The conversations probably after this at the bar, which we'll have various level of layers, of course. So yeah, I mean, it's inevitable. It is omnipresent. It would always be there. Now introducing myself, I'm Swabiman, and I'm an architect and designer myself. I'm representing Space Matrix here today. We are very young, 25 years old, global design firm, and we have been delivering, conceptualizing, building, and delivering more than 70 million square feet all across the globe, extensively in APAC. Uh, so what happens when we are actually conceptualizing and designing and building these beautiful spaces all across, and but very complex environments. What happens is basically your mind explodes into fragments, right? Like it can be fragments of creative thinking sometimes. It can be layers of structural thinking which kind of overrules your creative thinking. Sometimes it's analytical thinking which takes the center stage, right? So just imagine at such a nascent stage where we are conceptualizing and designing, there are several layers of thought and ideas which are there. So layers exist there also. I mean, and forget about the outcome or the product itself, which will have zillion number of layers. So I would call it out that an architect's mind is actually a multi-dimensional world in itself. I mean, where we have to bring in a balance between emotions, logic, sometimes intuitions, and overall context. I mean, we have to bring in a balance. So yeah, I mean, we deal with a lot of data, right? We analyze a lot of data. We express and we articulate through a lot of data, which is always all around us. I mean, we toggle through and switch through various contexts and various perspectives while we are designing, right? But the environments that we really design are just not some layouts or some aesthetics that we talk about. It's a lot of time, these are very complex ecosystems that we develop. Now, when we are talking about complexity, technology is something which comes into the center stage, right? I mean, technology is something through which we actually see or visualize these complexities with more clarity. Um, and technology is something which kind of helps us or enables us to navigate through all of these multi-layers of system, uh, system data and time, like one by one as different layers, right? And all of this, while you saw a few of the presentations just before this, I mean, the digital platform which we are talking about are just a kind of a mirror or a reflection of how our mind is thinking. That's the metaphor I would take. Now, that was a lot of data again for us to decipher. Now, I'll just quickly talk about how do we see in a lot of projects that we do globally. Uh, what are the different forms how we see or perceive layers coming in into play? If you look at this, a project, this is in China, where layers of texture, play of light and shadow coming in, uh, with the reflections. So all of that kind of defines a very unique character, which gives a very unique identity to the whole space. So these are a form of layers which are coming in. If you look at Nestle, this is one of our very marquee projects, which is, again, if you see the layers, these are basically harmonized experiences which are kind of sprinkled across in various spatial zones which were developed. I mean, those harmonized experiences could be hospitality, sometimes it's fun, sometimes it's adventure coming in, sometimes it's the whole congregation happening all together. How do we do that? Uh, Layers, again, like how every layer is choreographed for within a workspace to orchestrate different forms and patterns of working. So again, layers of hospitality, curated art, or installations, crafted installations, and biophilia coming in. So these are various layers which is instilling life into these spaces. So as you see, these are varied forms of layers when we are talking about, and not just the parametric layers that we were talking about within our digital platform. And yeah, I mean, these are again layers which exist and are a living layer within a workspace, which are basically curated experience. And this can come up in various forms. It can be emotions, it can be social quotient, it can be wellness, and a lot which can keep going. I can keep going on that. So having said that, I would end this conversation right now with you, saying actually future belongs to designers and all of you architects and engineers who actually think in layers. And to add on to that, our conversation, we can keep adding various layers to it post this, and I'm very happy to do that post this session. Thank you so much.
Thanks, Architect Das. Thank you so much for sharing with us your experiences. Um, you rightly said, like in digital world, we have a lot of layers in the tech platform. In the real world, the design has a lot of layers, which Swami Mandas spoke about. Our event has also a lot of layers. Um, Now we come to the segment of felicitating our speakers. So first of all, let me call on stage Shoaib Sheikh, our Sales Head Architecture Business, Nemetschek India, to present a token of appreciation to our keynote speaker of the day, Architect Das. I would request you to please come on stage, and Shoaib, please be on stage. Let's give a big round of applause to our speaker who took us so nicely through his presentation of what happens in the real world and curated experiences. Thank you so much, Swami Mandas and Shoaib. And our next felicitation is for our speaker, architect Ajay Tonpe, who very nicely showed us the real case studies of how things can be done with digitally with software. And to present a token of appreciation, I call upon Manideep Saha and architect Shivang Rajvi from Dimension Plus to please present the token of appreciation to our speaker. Let's give a big round of applause to architect Ajay Tonpe and to our presenters as well. Thank you so much to our speakers for giving us those very enlightening insights in the world of design. It was indeed an inspiring evening, I can only say that. Now, a very important announcement for our lovely audience here. Your feedback is very important to us. So I request all our guests here who are present in the hall to please fill in the feedback form. And because we are talking about technology and digital, so we have the QR code on the screen. And if you can scan it, we will be sending you the digital participation certificates. So please scan this code. We are keeping it here for a few minutes. Please scan this code. Share your feedback with us. We want to make our products even better with your feedback. And you will be getting the digital participation certificates. I hope every one of you have been able to scan this QR code for the feedback form. Also, in the spirit of going paperless, all Archicad 29 brochures are now available via QR code. Again, here we have the QR code on the screen. Please download the digital docket of brochures. It is here for a few minutes. Please feel free to download the brochure, the digital brochure of Archicad 29. For any reason, if you miss it, don't worry. We will ensure it is mailed across to all our guests present here today. And now, I hope every one of you have been able to scan it. We will send you if you miss it, no worries. Before we move on, let me call on stage architect Shivang Rajveer and his team from Dimension Plus. Can we have you on stage? Architect Rajveer and your team. Let's give a big round of applause. Architect Rajveer has been the strongest force behind today's event, and I also call on stage Manideep Saha to please come on stage and present a token of appreciation to Architect Shivang Rajveer, who has been the strongest force behind today's event. It would not have been possible without his support. Let's give a big round of applause, everyone. Can we cheer them up? Heartiest thanks to all our speakers, the team at Nemetschek Group, our eminent keynote speaker, our expert architect Tonpe, and our wonderful audience here, as well as joining online all of those who have been part of the Nemetschek Group and Realty Plus initiative. For our audience, last but not the least, do not forget to collect our small token of appreciation for you all for being here, present here, and being part of this initiative. So please do collect our small token of appreciation for you all from the registration desk before you leave. And let's wrap up this evening with what better than some nice informal conversations on cocktail and dinner and networking with the peers. And once again, let me remind you all our Nemetschek experts are here in the hall to connect with one-on-one and also fix up post-event meetings if you want any more details about the software that you just witnessed here. So have a wonderful night ahead, and thank you once again for being part of this memorable launch evening. Thank you, everyone.
Welcome to a journey of India's dynamic growth in the architecture, engineering, construction, and operations industry. An industry that is playing a transformative role in the unprecedented growth of India's economy. With rapid growth and increasing competition,